Welcome back to Business Mathematics 1. I'm Eric from Mathematics Study Program, Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences ITB. So for today we are still going to discuss the additional application of derivative that is on the special focus on the elasticity of the demand. Let's get started. So this is the definition of the elasticity of the demand. So elasticity of demand is defined as the ratio between the percentage change in demand, that is delta Q divided by Q. This is the change in demand divided by the demand. So this is the percentage change in demand and the percentage change in unit price. So P is unit price, delta P is the change in unit price. So delta P divided by P is the percentage change in unit price. Okay, I can bring it to this form. Okay, this is delta Q divided by delta P. When delta P goes to 0, I have EP equals P over Q times the derivative of Q with respect to P. The derivative of Q with respect to P. Okay, okay. And what does the elasticity of demand here means? If I have E of a unit price is maybe -1, it means for every increase 1% increase in the percentage of demand, percentage of unit price, it will increase or decrease the percentage change in the demand. Once again, so if I have the elasticity of demand is -1, so every for every 1% percentage increase in the unit price, it will decrease the percentage change in demand by 1%. Okay, yeah? Okay. So this is the problem. I have the demand function Q. Q is the demand function of unit price, a function of unit price. So the quantity demanded is this, given as this function when P is from 0 to 120. Find the elasticity of demand as a function of P. Find the elasticity when the unit price is this, and at what unit price is the elasticity of demand become -1. Okay. The first one, what is the elasticity of demand of the? It is given by this formula, that is P over Q divided by dQ dP. What is Q? Q is this. So P divided by this times the derivative of Q, the derivative of this with respect to P, it is -2. Okay, so this is the elasticity of demand as a function of P. What about when the unit price is 100? I can just plug in P equals 100. So I have this is -5. And when 50, I can plug in, it will give you 0.71. So if F100 is -5, this means for every 1% increase in unit price from 100 from I think 100 from $100 unit price, it will lower the demand by approximately 5% from the demand. The demand is 40. Okay, so demand will be lower 5% from 40. Okay, so once again, when I have this means that for every 1% increase from $100 in unit price, it will lower the demand by approximately 5% from what? From, you can plug in this, and the demand is 40 from 40 units. Okay, yeah? Okay, you can do that at the with the 50 also. And what about the unit price when elasticity of demand is -1? I can just do the algebra, and I have this. So P equals 244, 24. 240. So at what unit price is the elasticity of demand become 1? That is when the unit price is $240. Okay, yeah? And this one I have a classification. So if I have Okay, so if I change the percentage in unit price, usually it will lower the demand. So in general, elasticity of demand will give you a negative value. Why? Because it will lower your demand if you change your unit price. If you add your unit price, it will lower your demand. Yeah. Okay, in general. But if you have EP greater than 1, it is also what we usually call the demand of that commodity is called elastic. Okay, yeah. This one, if the E of the unit price, EP, the elasticity of demand is between -1 and 1, then the demand of that commodity is called an inelastic. To be precise, between -1 and 0. Okay, yeah. And when EP equals -1, don't forget we assume that the elasticity of demand should be a negative value. The demand of that function is called the unit elasticity. Let's look the connection between this kind of elasticity of demand with the revenue. What is revenue? Revenue is given by the unit price times the quantity demanded. Don't forget the quantity is a function of P. So I have multiplication of functions of P. Okay, yeah. So if I want to find the rate of change of revenue with respect to the unit price, that is DRDP, it is given by the derivative of this with respect to P. Don't forget this is U and phi. So U prime phi, that is 1 times Q, plus u phi prime p times dq dp. Okay, yeah. So I can factor out q. So I have this. And what is this? This is the elasticity of demand. P divided by q times dq dp. So if I have the EP is less than -1, that is -2, -3, -4, and so on, I have this one minus less than -1. So if this will give you a negative one. So times the Q is always positive, the quantity, times the negative should be negative. So the rate of change of the revenue is negative. It means if you increase the unit price, the revenue will decrease. Okay, so if you increase the unit price when the demand is elastic, you will have a decrease of revenue. Okay, yeah, for this elastic commodity, the demand of the commodity that is elastic. So what about this one? If EP is between 0 and -1, so you have this is between 0 and -1, so it should be positive, times Q is positive, so the RDP is positive. So if the unit price is increased by 1%, the revenue, if the unit price is increased, so the revenue will increase also. Okay, yeah. What about the third one? I have EP equals -1. What happens? So if I have -1, this is -1 plus 1 will become 0 times Q is 0. So if the unit price is changed, the revenue doesn't change. That is the demand of that commodity. That's called unit elasticity. So this one, okay, yeah. When the demand is elastic, then if the unit price is increasing, the revenue will decrease. If you have inelastic, the unit price increasing, the revenue will increase. And this is the revenue will not change. I can assume that the demand of this inelastic case, this commodity is like maybe like daily needs, our daily needs, maybe like a soap. Okay, yeah. If I want to buy a soap, maybe yeah, 10,000 maybe 10,000 rupiah. If I increase by 1%, if I increase the unit price by 1%, let's say that EP is minus a half, It means if I increase the unit price by 1%, 1% of 1,000, What is 1%? Oh, 1% of 10,000. What is 1% of 10,000? That is 10,000 and 100. It will decrease the demand by minus a half percent of uh, the demand given. Okay, yeah. So it will just decrease a little. It will all decrease a little. But in this case, the elastic, maybe it is like buying. If you have land that is 100 million. If you increase by 1%, you have 101 million. So the demand of the house will decrease by 10%. By 10%. Okay. So if you increase just by 1%, it decrease a lot the demand. It will decrease the demand a lot. So usually the commodity is pricey. If the commodity is pricey, usually the demand is elastic. But if it is quite cheap, I think the demand should be inelastic. Okay, you can find the example for the unit elasticity. Okay, and we will discuss another application, just two more application after this video. So for this video, we have look at the elasticity of demand and the consequence if I have this classification with which relate to the revenue function. Okay, thank you very much.